You're in a perf calibration meeting. Someone, usually an EM 2 years into the job, is making the case that their report should have been promoted last cycle, not this one. The argument has a tone to it. Urgency. Like a 6-month delay is going to compound into a career-ending gap. I want to talk about that tone. Because if you actually do the math on a 40-year career, that 6 months is a rounding error. And the operating model most of us inherited, the ladder, the levels, the cycle-by-cycle climb, is quietly making you worse at the job, worse at the bets, and worse at the compounding that actually matters. Here's the frame I want to land. Your career isn't a promotion ladder, it's a 40-year compounding function. And the inputs that compound aren't your levels. They're your reputation, your judgment, your network, and the optionality you accumulate. Let's break that down. Start with reputation. At Amazon, the bar raiser system, interviewers with veto power across loops, works because reputations follow people across years and orgs. The staff engineer who shipped the migration cleanly in 2019 is the one getting pulled into the 2025 platform RFC, not because of their title. Because 3 people in the room remember how they handled the rollback. That edge weight is the compounding asset, and it compounds whether you got promoted on time or not. Nobody, 5 years from now, remembers which cycle you got staff. They remember whether your RFCs were any good. Second input, judgment. This is where the ladder model actively hurts you. If you're optimizing for the next level, you take visible work, launches, migrations with executive sponsors, things that show up in a packet. What you avoid is the long horizon stuff, the deprecation, the platform investment, the boring reliability work. Because it doesn't promote you in this cycle, but judgment is built on the right side of that screen. Reading 100 RFCs teaches you more about system design than writing 5. Sitting through Google-style perf calibrations as a manager teaches you more about fairness than reading every management book on the shelf. Stripe's RFC culture works because senior engineers spend hours commenting on docs that aren't theirs. That's the gym. The ladder model tells you to skip the gym because reps don't show up in your packet. Third, network. And I don't mean LinkedIn. I mean the 7 to 15 people who 10 years from now will text you about a role, a co-founder slot, a board seat, or a problem they're stuck on at 11 p.m. Those relationships form in the trenches. Shared on-call rotations, painful incident post-mortems, an RFC fight you both lost gracefully. The math here is brutal and clean. If you change jobs every 3 to 4 years over 40 years, that's 10 to 13 orgs. Each org gives you maybe 3 to 5 deep professional relationships, so your terminal network is 40 to 60 people who take your call. That's the asset. Optimizing a single perf cycle at the cost of one of those relationships, burning a peer to win a scope fight, is one of the worst trades in the game. And it's a trade the ladder model encourages. Fourth, optionality. Netflix's keeper test. Would I fight to keep this person? Sounds harsh, but flip it around. Your career version is, at any point, could you credibly leave? Could you go IC if you're an EM? EM if you're an IC? Could you join a seed stage startup or research lab or take a year off? Optionality compounds when you build skills that are legible across contexts. A staff IC who only knows one company's internal tooling has less optionality than one who's shipped in 3 different stacks. An EM who's only managed in steady state has less optionality than one who's also done a 0 to 1 team and a wind down. Each context is a multiplier on the next 40 years. So here's the operating change. Once a year, not at perf time, deliberately not at perf time. Sit down and ask 4 questions. What did my reputation do this year? What's my judgment better at than it was 12 months ago? Which 2 or 3 relationships got meaningfully deeper? And what options did I add or lose? If those 4 are trending up, the levels take care of themselves. If they're flat and you got promoted, you got a local max on a function that runs for another 30 years. Next video, I'm going to break down the Staff IC scope trap. Specifically why increasing scope, as it's written in most career ladders, is often the exact wrong target for the 40-year function. If you want the annual review template I use for this, it's linked below. Curious what you'd add to the 4 inputs? Drop it in comments and I'll pin the best ones.